Hi everybody, welcome to the second video that I'm doing on the Elder Scrolls Online Tales of Tribute. The last one I did was a win against a non-player character, and I'm just trying to do these videos as a little bit of an overview of the game in terms of how it's sitting on the public test server today. It's only been out there a couple of days, so this could certainly all change between now and when the game releases in June. But just trying to give folks a feel for how the game plays and some introductions to some strategies and so on. So I have that other video out there that shows a win against a non-player character, but I think in general you learn more, I guess, when you lose. So this was a loss against a non-player character, and hopefully there'll be some interesting things to learn here. So without further ado, going to get into this game. And one of the interesting things about it really was that this was the first time I ran into a patron that I hadn't seen before, this Sorcerer King Orgnum. So one of the things to keep in mind is if you play on the public test server, you can have a template character that has all the decks unlocked, or if you play with a regular character, you only get a few unlocked. So I only had the 4 basic ones unlocked, so I hadn't really run into this guy before. And as usual, the first few turns are pretty standard, right? It's convert the gold coins to the doubles if you can. But I had this Archer Volley available there, which is a pretty good card on the red side to get some power. So I went ahead and got that. I don't think that was a bad decision. Still trying to figure out what all these patrons do, right? So the first one is a little bit bugged. It wasn't showing the right tooltip. And this Sorcerer King isn't working exactly right, but it ended up kind of being the key to why I lost, my lack of understanding of it. So he's kind of doing the same kind of early turn stuff, right? Just buying up a few things off the tavern in the middle. They love, for some reason, the non-player characters love to play that red patron, even when they don't have any agents. I don't think it does anything for them. I think it's a bug that they play it so often. I bought that Ebony Mine. Again, I didn't really know what was going on. Now, buying Scratch is probably a good idea if I still have the money. But that Ebony Mine, it had the special border around it. I think it's an upgraded card. And I think I let myself be kind of deluded by that. It's a gold building card, and not usually a strategy that I play in the gold building. I prefer the combos from the purple cards. So things are pretty much going along normally. I mean, he's getting a little bit of power here and there. Nothing spectacular. That Harvest is an instant card. It happens immediately and lets you draw another card. It's a really nice one if you can pick it up. So just let me draw one extra card. That's really nice. And part of the early strategies, as I talk about in other videos, is to convert these single gold coin cards into double using that treasury patron. I think I called it something inappropriate in the other video. I think I called it tribute, but it's really the treasury that lets you convert single gold coin cards to doubles. Now he just played that Sorcerer King, so he's now up to 8, and I'm a little confused. So I'm still trying to, this is the first time I've run into it, and I'm trying to figure out how that works while still having the 90-second time limit on my turn. So I think that had me a little bit back on my heels, that he kind of jumped out of, it's a little bit of an early lead, but I mean 8-2, it's still well within striking distance. So I figure, okay, I'll play it too. Okay, so I got my 2 points there, and starting to figure it out. Basically, it's supposed to give you a varying number of points for gold, depending on what its state is, favored, neutral, or unfavored. It's not working right. I think it's only giving 2 regardless. So I was so busy trying to figure that out. He picked up a red rally card, which is phenomenal in his purchase there. If I had been able to, the key here would have been to stop him from getting that Armory red card, because my eventual downfall is his combination of those 2 cards. So when you're playing the tavern in the middle, it's not just about what cards you want. There's also some strategy in terms of not letting your opponent buy a specific card. There's really nothing I could do about it at that point. They did not have enough gold to block that. So there he picked up the other red card, which I should have known at that point. Stuff was starting to get serious from my perspective. Still don't know what that patron up there does. For some reason I can't activate it again, a bug in the public test server. Now I have my first purple combo, so that's, things are starting to go in a direction that I think is positive. I'm wondering to myself whether I should pick up that second scratch card. The answer is yes, I probably should. But then I have gold, to buy that those 6 value cards. But no, I'm sticking with the purple cards. I think it's probably the still best strategy from my perspective at that point. And I go ahead and now use that Sorcerer King. Now I'm starting to feel pretty good, right? So we're getting a little bit of a head start on our opponent. We're at 15 to 10. Still not drawing good combos. I mean, it's still fairly early in the game. We haven't picked up a lot of cards. But things I think are going okay at this point. He gets his 3 from using that same patron. So I think the thing to watch for is, when your opponent is using that consistently, they're just getting a free, consistent source of power. And you just sort of need to watch it. I think, unless it gets, so it doesn't get away from you. So here's where things really come off the rails. I'm so busy admiring my 2 purples that I don't realize he played his 2 red cards back to back. And then he's going to double down and use the Sorcerer, which gave him a huge jump up to 28 prestige. So at this point, I'm back on my heels a little bit. Because this kind of happened dynamically, I was watching my cards instead of his. I wasn't really sure how he jumped that far. And you can probably tell from kind of the hovering around here that I wasn't exactly sure what to do at this point. I didn't feel like I'd gotten some good combos yet. So I think I'm a little bit rattled at this point. I'm not sure that buying those cards was the best strategy, but again, there's nothing else available, and I kind of felt the need to react. I did not take the patron that gives you power there, which I think was probably another tactical mistake. I should have brought that off of his favorite status and put that patron back to neutral, because then he just doubled down again, took that patron again, and got him up to 31. So we're at a significant deficit with no good combos coming up, except for this little hit here, which is really nothing, right? We get 1 extra gold. And here I think comes another mistake. I should have taken that Sorcerer King patron again. Well, actually I did, never mind. So I did end up taking it. Keep me within striking range 31 to 26. Now I have a purple combo coming up, which is pretty good. But he just made another 7 points and 2 more, giving him 9, took him straight to 40. So now I'm really back on my heels, have a 14-point deficit to make up. So now I have the ability to acquire a card from the tavern. I'm just kind of looking to see, which one gives me the most effects. I get the agent. Still have 8 gold available. Go ahead and play my purple combo, see what we're at. 12 gold in pretty good shape, 13 gold. So this time I chose to play the Duke of Crows, which converts gold to power. So that got me just enough to not lose the round, but still not drawing any good combinations. I don't really have good. And there's that armory again that he played. That gives him a significant bump. Got him up to 47. No combos to play there. So 7 gold, 3 power. What do? Look at this stupid ebony mine again. Just because it has the border, I think it's important. So I take that blue card, which is, I think trying to scare up, any other card that could help. And then for no apparent reason, I take that ebony mine. There I play the patron, which just gets me to 45, and it's just not enough. However, still sacrifice a card. For some reason I got 2 patron plays. I'm not entirely sure. There are cards that allow that, so that may have been the strategies. I got the 2 patron plays, which allowed me to sacrifice a card and at least stay in the running. But there's that rally again for 6 power that he got, which is just crushing at this point. Then he played, so he ends up at 55, leaving me a 7 power deficit to try to make up. Again, without a lot of good combos coming. Trying to see if there's anything in the tavern that'll save me. So I play him. He's at the 53, and that's the end of the round. So, you know, I think generally inexperience with that patron set me back on my heels a little bit. But really, you know, at the end of the day, it's sort of the random number generation that went in my opponent's favor, right? He got those 2 red card combos back to back. He didn't really plan for it. The NPC never really converts single gold coins to the doubles to try to thin out their deck. So it truly was just kind of 2 unfortunate draws back to back, along with the use of that patron that really gave him a huge advantage. I mean, it was pretty close. I think 1 different draw on my side, and maybe not taking that ebony mine, doing something different could have resulted in a different outcome. But you know, pretty close game, and you know, it's interesting to kind of learn and see how these various patrons can affect the game. So if you're up against someone who's playing that sorcerer king on every turn, you need to watch that creep, right? So if you're very confident in your build and your skills, and you know that you're going to get some big hits by kind of playing your strategy, then maybe you can ignore it. But otherwise, you know, kind of want to keep an eye on them creeping up on you like that. I mean, you get a 15-point hit. And you'd better, you know, have some way of responding to it. So hope this was useful to you, and good luck out there.